那他也可以把球踢出边界。
there is a slight breeze and it's a little bit gusty down there. That could affect the kick
那或者是直接脚可以碰一下踢下球，然后直接进攻，或者是选择正击团开始。那现在中华队选择了攻踢球，如果进的话是3分。
Is this the big lock? Jill Hawley lining up for the kick?
哦，这个距离其实还蛮远的，有点距离，不过
pretty unconventional
你看
rugby.
最后
Take it to 45 split the post. First 3 points
脚踢的准度，
and the fans are going mad.
哇，现在8分46秒的时候，中华队靠着这一个进球，现在是3比0领先的斯里兰卡，率先拿到分数。我们再来看一下刚刚这个
modern rugby.
Oh, modern rugby. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I am a little bit older than you.
不偏不倚，就刚刚好过去这个 H 球门的中间啊。
Jill Hawley, first 3 points for Taiwan in this 2018 rugby under-19 rugby champs. Oh, it's a nice deep kick-off from Sri Lanka. Let's see what Taiwan can do with the ball again. But they've immediately put it to boot. It looks like they're happy for Sri Lanka to be running at them at this point.
Yeah, I think that what I gathered from the discussions before this game is they're going to be happy with a very open, fast game. And they're looking at the second half. They've paid a lot of attention on
想要打正，大家可能会用他去倒的一个方式，可是在英式橄榄球队，打正应该就是 TRY， 就是用踹的。
That's great. I mean, I wonder how their fitness will hold up if they just keep defending for the entire first half.
敢踹敢进球，就是唱一个右翼啊，比较有一个同意的方式。
At the moment, I don't think that the Sri Lankans are really challenging them. They're just running straight into them.
斯里兰卡的那个这边球是
deceptive.
And that's a little bit of an error there. Kick straight out on the full, and we're coming back to the line out right on the 22 line. That was, of course, back pass back
踢出去的那个点，然后垂直延伸到边线去。
不过还好，就是。
在画面上，我们刚刚看到的是换个角度哦，这一个
Of course, we've got a third commentator in the box with us here.
刚好出去一点点的
a stalwart of rugby in Taiwan himself, Mr. Wayne Koo. Welcome, Wayne.
Thank you, James.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Sri Lanka have just taken another line out, and once again they're shipping it to the big number 8 in that kind of first receiver channel off the 10, and they're happy to run at that same line all night, it seems. Karuna Ratne, another ball out. Oh, but that's been led like a block from right to left, and the number 13 has been taken.
那个斯里兰卡像刚刚这球员是有一点重量，所以他推进来的时候，我们的球员只能挡住，没有办法立即让他倒地。
所以在倒地之后，虽然倒地的那个拿球的球员不能碰球了，但是他要把球拨给后面的时候，我们的防守球员可以去碰球吗？不行。
我们的防守球员只要站立的，然后他没有越位的状况，都可以去争取球。重点就是一定要站立，然后要在位，对，要在那个像现在这个。
It's true. They seem to be kind of making territory whilst defending consistently. A little bit of a break in play for an injury. It looks like one of the Sri Lankan lads who's gone down there. Is that Karuna Ratne?
I'm not sure.
And I think it is him, the Sri Lankan number 9, Karuna Ratne.
It's a bit of a knock to the head.
It looks like it's just taken a bump on the head, but he's upstanding. He's got some water, and he looks to be okay. I don't know if we'll have to take a break for an HIA. He'll have to take a break for an HIA or not, of course. On your screens now is Big Sunny.
Well, it's going to be a reset since the medical staff just decided to come on the pitch, and the referee have no other choice but to stop the game.
Yeah, but of course, I think in terms of player safety, that's something we've got to look out for, especially when it could be concerned with their head and neck. So,
absolutely.
But Karuna Ratne looks okay. Maybe a little bit angrier than before. Perhaps this will have some kind of influence over the way he plays this game. Hopefully we'll see like a 1-2 step here from the Sri Lankan teams. It looks like they might go right off this scrum. They've got 2 players loaded there. Hopefully they don't put it to boot straight away.
They seem to be like...
There we go. The ball's gone right. Pick up from the 8 to Karuna Ratne. And he popped it off inside to Lianage, who's been...
Another big hit from the Taiwanese team.
Yeah, and they forced a knock-on. It's that relentless pressure that the Taiwanese team is presenting to Sri Lanka. It's very hard to hold on to the ball and to run into contact with your arms above the tackle like that. Oh, see, it just hit right in the ribs. 2 players on a big man like that. That, of course, is Hirushan from the Sri Lankan team, one of the big men up front.
There's a knock-on. There's a scrum to Taiwan, right on the halfway line.
So Chen's got the feed in here.
We see what they can do with the ball.
The ball's at the back. Chen makes a nice pass to Chiu, who puts it on the boot. It lands, oh, it's a beautiful kick. It's landed inside the Sri Lankan 22. He put it right behind them, and it's rolled out. They're playing great field position here, especially the way they've been driving back the Sri Lankan team. Taiwan is in a good position to just basically defend for a try here.
That's a beautiful kick right to the corner, and Taiwan seems to be content to kick the ball to Sri Lanka and just play defense.
Well, if I could defend like that, I'd be fairly happy playing defense too. This will be I think the third put in for Farid in this game. It's a safe put in. Back to Karuna Ratne. Oh, the number 15 there looked a little bit uncomfortable receiving the ball. Sri Lanka 2 meters out.
Not releasing.
That was Lianage who was taken down there. He looked a bit surprised to take the ball, but the Taiwanese team didn't seem held onto the ball there, and it's a penalty for Sri Lanka. Farid's going to have his 4th throw-in of the game.
I think the Taiwanese player was just a little bit too eager. They saw the try coming right on the try line, so there's a little bit of infringement there.
Yes, like our good friend Pablo Escobar, a little bit of white line fever, right?
Absolutely. When you see that white line, you just go red.
Nice, and Farid with another throw in here. They've been relatively safe after that first missed throw, or miscatch rather. I say that commentator's curse. And Taiwan have the ball back. They've driven it up to the 22-meter line. Chen is ready at the base of the ruck, and that is the big number 8 Zhang. He took 3 defenders with him there?
Absolutely.
Taiwan seem to have attacking impetus now. They look hungry for the attack in the 22. There's a man out back. This has got to be a try. Easy overlap.
Easy overlap.
For the corner.
Oh, good defense by the Sri Lankan. Push him out on the floor just before the try line.
But they're appealing for it. This looks really exciting. The referee is going to communicate with the assistant ref on the sideline and get some more insight into whether he made the line or not. That was, of course...
Can we check on the touch? So happy with the touch? Okay, so he's in the field.
I guess there's no TMO here today.
Okay, thank you. Time back on.
And the assistant referee said he made it to the corner. That is an excellent try for, I think it was the right winger there, Chung. Taiwan's right winger, Chung. Beautiful play. Just a little bit of celebration on his way back there. And the fans are going crazy for it. The Sri Lankan management team looks a little bit upset, perplexed, perhaps, at what's happening here.
That really is the first chance Taiwan had the ball. And then with nice position, they decided to go on the offensive. And, you know, one chance, one try. That's a good striking rate.
Yeah, that's pretty much the perfect strike rate, 100%. Of course, now here again we have Sean Gabriel, Jill Hawley, a 1970s style lock, according to Andrew Leakey, about to take the kick. Leakey, of course, has memory far back into the 70s, into the early 70s, when none of these boys were even dreamed of yet. It looks like it's just gone wide. That was a tough kick from the corner. He did well with the length there, but it looks like it's just gone wide. And we have the Taiwanese team leading 8 points to 0. We're kind of a quarter of the way into this match now, and we're getting some Taiwanese highlights here. Look at the leg drive from Chung, and he's made it over.
That's a nice finishing move by the winger. He's got the instinct for the try line.
And there's 3 defenders on him like that. That's a serious leg drive. Oh.
Not going first.
And Sri Lanka look like they're out for some blood themselves. It's a nice chase on the kick, and it was a little bit mishandled there. And the Sri Lankan man flew in. But I think overall, that perhaps was the hardest Sri Lankan tackle we've seen. You've got to wonder about the defense with 3 men on Chung there and allowing him to go over in the corner like that. It's yet another Sri Lankan scrum. Let's see if they can do anything with it. This time they're in the 22. Could be a chance to scratch back some points. With the big number 8 running, beats the first man, but the second one takes him down. Sri Lanka have secured the ball. Karunaratne is at the back. Oh, but a nice bit of slapping communication from the forwards, telling him, get out the way. It's nice to see some communication, some aggressive communication going the way towards the scrum half instead of from him. Karunaratne is not able to get that ball back. The referees agreed that they lost the ball in the ruck there.
I'm going to hand this mic back to my esteemed colleague, Angeliki.
It looks like Taiwan have a player down. It looks like it's number 5 from this place. Their kicker, of course, Jill Hawley. Looks like he's gone down. Looks like perhaps something in the lower leg, which is worrying for a prominent player as well as their kicker, right, Liki?
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem. Hopefully he can get up. Doesn't look that serious. Probably just a temporary setback. But I'm just going back to the game. I mean, Sri Lanka have got to be a bit frustrated with what's going on here. I mean, they only seem to be playing one game, one direct game. It's not working. They're starting to lose ball. I think it's just a matter of time now. They're going to just if this doesn't start working, then they're going to start getting frustrated.
This is true. Oh, it looks like Jill Hawley's going to get taken off on the stretcher there. I hope it's nothing too serious for his ankle. Perhaps he'll be all right for the next game, which of course is on Saturday. But yes, coming back to your point there, I think Sri Lanka need to try something. You know, they're all young players out there with no real access to their coach now. They need to make some decisions, figure out what is not working, and make a change in order to fix that.
At the moment, they don't seem to have a plan B. You know, they seem to be doing the same thing and it's not working. And eventually, they're going to have to think of something else, because we're only 20 minutes almost into this game. And yeah, as you said, James, it is a bit more serious than I expected. Hopefully he can make it for the next game against Korea on Saturday, which is going to be a very tough match for Taiwan, judging from the first performance.
And there's a massive round of applause from the limited crowd out here tonight. Obviously a prominent player. He's already scored 3 points from the boot. Replacing him is... We've got Shuho Tsai, who's come onto the field, I believe. I stand to be corrected, though. And that's Chen with the feed in. Zhang's got it at the back of the scrum, but Chen feeds it out to Chu. Another high ball for Taiwan to chase. Once again, they're just really showing that they're happy to defend this game. It looks like Layanage looked a little bit isolated, but Sri Lanka managed to protect it over the ruck there, and they take another phase.
He's done well.
Karunaratne there plays it out to another one of these big, beefy Sri Lankans. They're just continuing to run directly at the Taiwanese defenders here. But Taiwan looks so robust on defense. They're able to get over that ball, and they're really launching into the rucks. No sign of slowing down at this point. Oh, look at that.
Monster hit. He's very unlucky to get away with that. You know, very lucky to get away with that, the Sri Lankan.
Yeah, I mean, that's their big receiver, Hirushan. He's their loose head prop, and he's had a lot of ball already tonight.
What was that call for there, James? It was offside.
Yeah. And I think it was not rolling at the last.
Oh, okay.
Last thing. A lovely banana kick from the Sri Lankans there, and they have their first. I think this is their second time into the Taiwanese 22, and they've got another. Farid's got another line-out opportunity here. Let's see if they can set up an attack.
I'd be surprised if we don't. I think that they're going to try something in the maul here. they've been playing one straight game so far, and I think they're going to be, as long as they can get their hands on this ball.
Well, there's no contest from the Taiwanese team. They predicted that maul, and they've done reasonably well to stop the first shunt, but Sri Lanka have kept the drive going. The ball's still at the back. It's kind of all over the place, though. The referee's called use it once, and Sri Lanka has advantage for collapsing in the 22, which is always dangerous. Sri Lanka happy to set phase after phase just around that ruck. They're bashing it in that first receiver channel. It's another drive, but the Taiwanese teams are just launching their shoulder, and look how low they go.
I think they're going to be using the big guys now, Kavatana and Sabah, which are going to be trying to get involved here now.
Oh. There we go. So we've gone back for no advantage called from the referee there. We've gone back for collapsing the maul.
I'd put it back in the corner here.
I think they might put it back in the corner, or are they going to set up a... No, they're going back to the corner. A little bit of a conference on field there, and they've decided that that's where they can take it.
I think this is where their advantage probably lies, is in the line out. And they've got the extra power up front. This is probably going to be a forward drive. That's my guess here.
It looks like Dilshan, the number 12 there for Sri Lanka, is communicating something with his team. Perhaps we're up for something straight off the training pitch here.
Yes, something you'd be proud of, James.
It's a nice counter drive, initial counter drive from the Taiwanese team, but the ball is there, and Sri Lanka look like they're going to take it over the line.
Beautifully done.
If you can control that more, it becomes incredibly hard to stop, and Sri Lanka just able to drive it over the line. Perhaps this is them kind of stating that they want to be in this game for the first time.
Well, we said, you know, at the moment there's only one real way that they're going to get over this Taiwanese defense, and that's through the forwards and through using the brute force. And I think lineouts is probably one area now. They probably identified that they can play this match and play it in the right positions.
This is Dilshan here. He's just waiting for the tee. Calling for a tee here. Of course, there's only 90 seconds. He's under a little bit of pressure. There we go. But he's placing the kick, and this he's 15 meters out from the center of the field, right on the 22. We're looking at about I'd call that a 31-meter kick. With not too much of an angle. This should be over.
Could you kick this, James?
Oh, do I think I can kick it, or can I kick it? Because those are two very different answers.
Do you think you can kick it?
Oh, I think I can.
Yeah. Can you kick it?
Yeah. Maybe that stands to be seen. Maybe we'll have to try that on the field ourselves.
Here he goes.
Dilshan to bring Sri Lanka within 1 point here. But he's pushed it wide. Just a little far to the right there. And after 24 minutes, the score is Taiwan 8, Sri Lanka 5 after that try at the back of the rolling maul. I believe it was Farid himself who got over after throwing in for the line, the number 2 Farid. He has been kind of all over the park for the Sri Lankan team. Now, as we talk, Chu is ready for his next kickoff, and there it is. Very close to the touch line, and Sri Lanka just a little bit confused there, not sure. No one's really putting their name on it, and it bounces and goes out. Perhaps they've taken your advice, Leaky, and they're trying to set up a line-out more from their own 22 this time.
Well,
it looks like they're chatting about it, at least.
It could be the only way they get through this Taiwanese defense.
Perhaps a big drive on the cards here. But this time it's contested. Ball out. Karuna Ratne gets the ball out to the back line. Got big lads running up the center. That's the first broken tackle of the night, and second and third all together. Unfortunately, terrible not a great pass from Sabah after his fantastic barnstorming run over the Taiwanese defense. Taiwan has the ball on their own 22 now, after the first kind of just flash from Sri Lanka. That's a little bit of a rushed clearance. They've panicked, and Sri Lanka has the ball. Oh, the steps are coming out. Is that Layanage again? It looks to be him. Sri Lanka committing a lot of men to each ruck here. Karuna Ratne's at the back, though. He's just telling the big boys to drive it up slowly. They're starting to make some impact around the edges of the ruck here, Leaky.
I just think that you can see the difference between the two teams. Taiwan is very willing to kick the ball away, whereas the Sri Lankans want to keep the ball in hand as much as possible. They just ran 50 meters. I mean, that's just that's a pretty impressive show. But that was the first time I've seen a little bit of doubt in the Taiwan defensive line.
It was definitely the first missed tackle, and like I said, the second and the third on all on Sabah there, the big, prominent Sri Lankan number 8. You'll see him hanging out in the back line there quite a lot, waiting for it. But Sri Lanka seem to be getting their confidence up, and they're throwing out steps left, right, and center here. Oh, but Taiwan are continuously defending around the fringes, knocking Sri Lanka back. Another attack around the fringe.
I think this is a very key moment in the match for Sri Lanka. They're going to get something out of this, because if they go into halftime with a lead that's with the tails up, they're going to need that, I think, in this match.
Oh, Sri Lanka just attacking with way more impetus. Oh, Dilshan breaks through the line, and he leaves the ball behind him as he steps his last defender. That's a little bit unfortunate. Taiwan know they're a bit lucky on that one. Oh, Dilshan looks like he's down though, and Taiwan clears the ball inside their own 22. It's out on the full. Looks like we're going to have a line out round about the 22-meter line.
That was just very fortunate for the Taiwan team. Dropped the ball. I mean, he was through, right? He was through, James.
Dilshan was right through there.
Dilshan was through.
But he'd left the ball behind him, and I think it was just in that moment of uncertainty, he got hit really hard there by a Taiwanese defender. And I'm just a little bit worried or concerned about him. He looks to be in considerable pain on the ground.
Well, we've already had one bad injury today. So anyway, I'm going to pass over to back over to Wayne Koo.
Okay, so just penalty only. Okay,
thank you very much, Mr. Andrew Leakey. It looked like a pretty bad head injury.
Okay, so 2 options. Okay.
Yeah, they look to be securing his neck, but I think he's sitting up at the moment, so Dilshan looks to be okay. Maybe just winded. This, of course, is our other injured player, Jill Hawley, who went off earlier. It looks to be something in his foot. Hopefully it's not a break, maybe just a sprain, and he'll be back by Saturday. But Dilshan is up. Is he looking at his hand? He's getting a lot of hair pulling there. Very enthusiastic hair pulling. Just a little bit of a wake up, Dilshan.
Okay, what happened is after the kick, 3 late hit on the player. Okay, so they got penalty only. So you should be very careful on that. Okay, so they will pick the mark over here.
I think the referee's going to give a penalty to Chinese Taipei for a late hit.
Okay, let's back 10. We got time.
Well, it's time to get out of the half, and then we can play in the Sri Lanka's half.
Yeah, for sure. Perhaps that's a little bit of that kind of frustration and passion from the Sri Lankan team coming in. A little late hit. I know myself as a big fella, if you run a long way to make a tackle, even if someone passes the ball, it can be very tempting to still make that tackle.
Well, sometimes the coaches says, you know, make them feel it, even if they don't have the ball. Even if it's just a split second late. You just want them to remember that hit, right?
Yeah, sure. Remember the late hit. Advice from Wayne Koo. I don't think it's anything not in the spirit of the game here. I think he was just a little bit impassioned after that long run that he made for the tackle. Taiwan have cleared the ball after that penalty, and they have a line out about 43 yards out, 43 meters out from the Sri Lankan try line.
Taiwan's line out today hasn't actually looked that secure. They've been a little bit iffy on some of their throws.
Yeah, well, Sri Lanka does have a major height advantage over Taiwan in the line-out. That long throw over the back, though, is secured, even though it looked a bit shaky.
That was a little bit fortunate.
Yeah, is that Jung again with another run for the Taiwanese team. Oh, there was a man out on the hunt there, and a little bit of panic from the Taiwanese team, and he just shipped it on to the next one.
Yeah, they're trying to play a little bit of Fijian rugby, a little hot potato.
That's a little bit unfortunate for Wang. He too has been kind of everywhere all over this pitch, and he unfortunately just lost it in the tackle there after kind of pushing through that first tackle. A little head nod from Wang. He hears the acknowledgement we're giving him. A happy boy.
He's a quintessential modern day hooker. You know, you gotta do the dirty stuff in the tight, and also you gotta be around the pocket and loose.
Square up, okay?
Of course, it is spoken from a hooker himself. I'd say perhaps not the quintessential modern hooker beside me.
Oh, definitely. I'm a very old school hooker. You know.
Stop.
Oh, Karuna Ratne, he's got great service from the base of the scrum. Ball's getting out really well today. Ooh. Did that kick stay in?
It looks like it. The touch judge seems to indicate that it went in and then bounced out.
Oh, great. That's a fantastically weighted kick. Sri Lanka kicked it across the field. They're not made too much ground on that one, about 10, 15 meters. And Taiwan have the throw-in. It's going to be Wang with the throw-in about, what's that? Called that 37 meters out from their own line.
I think Sri Lanka finally realized that Taiwan's lineout is a little bit shaky and they're going to test them.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the extra height, oh, unfortunate. That looked like a knock-on from me.
Knock on.
Oh, very confusing play here. No one seems to really be playing the ball. A little bit of nerves out there. Sri Lanka have got their tails up here, and they're really putting their back into it here.
They're about 15 meters out from their own try line. They're going to keep pick and go, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a series of pick and goes. This is Big Hiroshan again with another pick and go. He's made a few carries tonight. I'd like to see some stats on that. The ball's gone out, but you can hear the roar from the crowd as the Taiwanese defense is just so impressive. But that's a long advantage, and we've gone back to the scrum towards Sri Lanka. Another opportunity for Sri Lanka in the 22. They're really kind of starting to put it together now. They've had a lot of chances, even though they're still behind on the scoreboard.
I think in the last couple of passes of play that Sri Lanka decided to put the ball out wide a little bit, and they decided to test the soft spot of the Taiwanese defense.
Yeah, are we perhaps seeing a little bit of a slowdown on the Taiwanese defensive line? Just a little bit. It seems to be a little bit more space for the Sri Lankan team to work with.
I think off the ruck, the Taiwanese defense has actually been holding up fairly well. But in the scrum situation, they've been a little bit soft and they are holes there.
There is Sabar, the big man again, with another run. There we go. Very clear communication from the referee tonight. He's doing a fantastic job communicating in two languages with both teams here. They all know exactly where they stand with him. We're 22 meters out now. Sri Lanka, this is moving into their third phase of this attack here. Oh, another one around the fringes of the ruck, and that's 4 phases down. Another ruck, that's Big Sabah trying to drive through. Perhaps they need to ship it just one channel over. They keep attacking the same line, and Taiwan have the answer for it.
Absolutely, Taiwan's defense around the fringes of the ruck has been solid all day. Whereas if they ship the ball out wide a little bit, there seems to be a little bit more space out there. Oh.
Speaking of which, that's a beautiful step from Keshan out wide. You could see him charging that up in the lines. Keshan's just massive step off the left leg, firing through the posterior chain there. And now Sri Lanka just 5 meters out with 2.5 minutes left to play in this half. Hiroshan waits for his support and he goes again. That's good, disciplined rugby from the big man. Something for the young players watching, something that they could look out for is don't isolate yourself. Sri Lanka are being very patient now, ensuring that they secure the ball at the ruck and that they're running with support every time.
They really are testing their fringe, not really making much of ground there.
Yeah, but they're sucking in a whole pile of defenders now. You wonder, like, at what point are they going to ship it out wide? They do have men out wide here. It looks like Zamil is standing out on their right wing, on the Sri Lankan right wing, but Big Sabah is going to take another run himself, make a couple meters. It is messy in there. Sri Lanka actually, there we go,
going forward by green.
In danger of losing possession like that. If they keep attacking over the same bodies, it can be very hard to get the ball back to Karunaratne there.
Time's off, substitutions.
Some substitutions coming on. It looks like it is the Taiwanese number 15, Lin, 16, sorry, taking the field. And he seems to be replacing Weilun Lin. So Lin comes on for Lin for the Taiwanese team. Some fresh legs in the scrum, perhaps.
So we've got a couple of minutes left to this half. I think this is a big moment now for the game. Sri Lanka's got to convert this pressure into points now, I think.
Yeah, just to be clear, there's 35 minutes in these halves.
35 minutes, yeah. This is not a 40-minute half match.
Oh, it looks like Lin is fired up there. A little bit of an early engagement, perhaps.
I think Taiwan will be very happy to actually have defended that and actually have the chance to have a scrum right now, James.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It looked particularly dangerous there when Keshan was putting in that beautiful step. He did about 22 meters out.
And there was acres of space on the right side. If that ball had come out, that was a guaranteed try. So they can be feeling happy right now. If they can just survive this last couple of minutes, that was a barrage. That was absolute,
a real onslaught from Sri Lanka.
Onslaught. Thank you for taking the word. I've been spending too much time in Taiwan. My English has obviously deteriorated.
Well, I don't know if Welsh English is any good to start off with, Lecky. So just 15 minutes left on the 15 seconds left on the clock, rather. And Sri Lanka, Karunaratne about to feed the ball in. What can Sri Lanka do? I think it's going to be Big Sabah, and it is. He goes over the first tackler into the second. He's sucking in Taiwanese defenders. The ball's got to get out quickly now. And that's the hooter. So this will be the last play. Oh, but the referee calls lost, but the ball's clearly there. Ooh, Hiroshan again with another drive. He's been taken backwards a few times tonight.
Bodies are flying in here.
You've got to feel that Sri Lanka need to pass the ball. This is just not working. An exercise in futility going around the rucks. Was that Big Jung putting in the shoulder there? Oh, no, I stand to be corrected. It's Shentang Wang, the big number, the Taiwanese number 3, just knocking them back. Obviously on the ref's clock, it is not over yet. We have time for another scrum, Sri Lankan ball.
They'll just keep pushing and doing the same thing, I think. At the moment, it doesn't look like there's going to be any change in the way they're playing this game.
Time's off.
It looks like someone's hurting a little bit out there. And a medic's come on. Perhaps a little bit of ice. Oh, no. Oh, contact lens, of course. Vision is relatively important when you're playing the game of rugby.
Especially in this breeze as well.
The questionable breeze continues. And that is the flanker, Su Young-chen. He's got his contact back in. I wonder if it'll improve his defense here. He's a big boy. Look at the height on him. But Craig Chan, the referee from Hong Kong, is calling in the captains.
Sorry, I didn't hear the hood.
There we go.
Time's off. Unplayable. So the 36. So it's 36. So it's half time.
Once again, exhibiting his command of languages there.
The Taiwanese are going to be happy with that, going in half-time, absorbing all that pressure, and look at the scoreboard. They're happy now. They're walking in there thinking they got their tails up now, James.
Taiwan leading by 3 points, 8 points to 5 here after the first half, and they were just under tremendous pressure for that last 15 minutes of the half.
I'm wondering about the second half now, whether that's going to take the toll a little bit more than I expected. I thought this is going to be a bit more a one-sided match, but Sri Lanka have definitely come into this and game on.
Game on! We'll be with you after the halftime break. Get some cool drinks, get some snacks. More rugby on the way. Especially in terms of defense there from Taiwan. What do you say, Wayne?
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, that Taiwanese defense has been holding up fairly well, especially around the fringes of the ruck. Sri Lanka keep testing it and see if there's a little crack showing. But so far, no sign of any crack showing around the fringes.
Yeah, of course. Sorry for stepping in there. Of course, the only try coming in from try for Sri Lanka coming in from the line-out maul that they managed to push over there.
I think the maul is a bit of a lost art. But when you have a maul that's run well, it's extremely hard to defend. I mean, as a lifelong forward, both you and me can agree that it's extremely hard to defend that well-drilled maul.
There's another deep kickoff from the Sri Lankan 10, Nandila, putting Taiwan under quite a bit of pressure there, but they've managed a clearance kick. It's directly out. It looks like it's gone out somewhere around the 10-meter line there, just before the 10-meter line. And once again, Sri Lanka are in Taiwan's half from the beginning of the game with another line out. We were looking at the line out stats at half-time there. What did you notice about that?
Well, Taiwan has not been doing well in their line-out. Out of 5 line-out, they only won 2. Whereas Sri Lanka has 6 line-out and they won 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of errors from both teams, really, but Sri Lanka have a massive height advantage. And immediately, look at that, they're setting up the maul again. They know that this has worked for them. They got a try once and a penalty, too, and it looks like they're being shepherded out, though. And it's the first call of use it. It's a little bit confusing where the ball is, and it looks like it's been judged to go out there. The Sri Lankan team, the Taiwanese team has pushed the Sri Lankan team out.
Yeah, the Japanese assistant referee decided that the Sri Lankan stepped out, so it's a line out to Chinese Taipei.
Correct. So once again, this is Wang with another throw-in for Taiwan here. Oh, but the Sri Lankans there using that height advantage and jumping across the line a little bit, able to knock it back. Sri Lanka looking a little bit static on this first run. Oh,
that's an unfortunate handling error by the outside center.
That's a little bit uncharacteristic there from Chetia. He's been really solid all night. He is, of course, the Sri Lankan captain, and he's been a kind of bastion of leadership for the team, kind of holding it together. And the ball's been ripped by the Sri Lankans there. They're on the front foot. Nice little chip through from Dilshan, and a big chase. There's 3 men, and the Taiwanese winger Liu has to just boot it out over his own dead ball there. A lot of pressure on the poor guy.
Yeah, there was only one person there, was 3 Sri Lankan players chasing him. I think the only thing he could do is just kick it out.
Yeah, I think even if you've got more steps than the Colosseum, you're going to struggle to get out of that gap. So Sri Lanka have a scrum on the Taiwanese 5-meter here. It's a lot of pressure from them. They've, of course, been really solid in their scrums. Let's see what they can work on attack here.
This is the first test for the Taiwanese team in the second half. Let's see if they can hold out.
It looks like Mubin Falil has taken over the scrum half responsibilities there from Karuna Ratne. And service goes straight to the 10. Nandila. Sri Lanka managing to hold on to the ball. Nandila passes it out wide. Big step coming, surely. That's Dilshan. He manages to stay in field and offloads to the Taiwanese to the Taiwanese player, but he was out before the offload came. I've noticed a lot of opportunities for Sri Lanka to kind of make an offload tonight, but it's not been so simple, has it?
Absolutely not. I mean, I think their supporting player is just a little bit behind. That offload was absolutely just to the Taiwanese player.
It was kind of a last-ditch attempt to keep the ball in there after Liu managed to shepherd it out. Oh! He's kicked it into his own player, I think.
Offside back here.
Offside.
Come back for the original call. Oh, no, he's kicked it into his own player. So it is offside there, and Sri Lanka have another penalty on the 5-meter. I'm sure they'll kick to the corner again and try implement another one of their powerful drives using their big forwards.
It was very unfortunate. That was the first clean take by Taiwan in a long time. But they squandered it. Their player just get in front of the kicker.
Yeah, it just looked like the ball came off the wrong part of the boot there and just kept low and hard, kind of the forward's nightmare. Just trying to dodge the ball as it comes. Another good throw in there from Sri Lanka, but Taiwan's initial counter drive, as per usual, has been solid. Sri Lanka have their second drive. Taiwan are shepherding them towards the line. It's a little bit worrying for the Sri Lankan side. They've managed to go to ground, and once again they're going to attack around the fringes. Perhaps a little bit eager there from their number 4, Iqbal. He went a little bit alone there, but Sri Lanka are continuing to attack around the fringes. We can expect another phase of more of the same. Or not. There we go. Falil passes it just one channel over. Sounds like they're taking our advice here. Falil passes out again. Ball's moving down the back line, but they're receiving it kind of standing. Not a lot to do. Taiwan comes up with the ball.
That's a little bit of an unfortunate handling error by the Sri Lankans.
And the Sri Lankans was just scrambling to get back into good kind of positions there to receive the kick. Oh, and that's a great step inside again. Some fantastic step work being showed by the Sri Lankan team here. Oh, setting another phase. Is that Big Sabah? Oh, there we go. Sri Lankan, a little bit of good knowledge of the rules there to kind of keep the Taiwanese number 4 in there. A nice big run up to the line from Chetty, the captain Chettiya. He almost makes it through. You'd have to say another man on the shoulder there would have been crucial in terms of keeping that attack going.
I think that's been part of their problem when they're attacking and making that gain line, that the supporting player is not on the shoulder of the runner, whereas so therefore the offload opportunity is just not there.
Yeah, and Sri Lanka doing a great job of just keeping the ball alive here and attacking with speed. They've got penalty of advantage, of course, for another, this time for a high tackle, and I say they're probably going to put it in the corner again.
Absolutely, that's been working for them. If you keep working, then just keep doing the same thing.
That's what they say, right? If it ain't broke,
don't try to fix it.
There we go. That is Chettiya just having a chat to Craig Chan, the referee from Hong Kong, and
referee's pointing to the post. I guess they're going to take the 3.
Yeah, it looks like Dilshan again, Janadu Dilshan ready to attempt a 3-pointer to bring it level. So the referee is just giving a bit of a warning to the Taiwanese team because a couple of illegal tackles and a couple of offsides in a row. It's been a little bit problematic for the men in blue and white.
I think that's the problem with the Taiwanese defense, that they're playing it very, very close to that offside line with that rush defense of theirs. That unfortunately sometimes you get caught offside.
Yeah, I mean it is always the worry of that rush defense, the risk that you take.
Yeah, it's an extremely fine line between a good rush defense and your offside.
On a beautiful kick from Dilshan, and that's 3 points for Sri Lanka, and the scores are even after 43 minutes at 8 points apiece. Another kickoff for the Taiwanese fly half here. Chu is ready to take another kick. I think he's going to put it nice and high again, as he's done in the past. Oh, and once again, he ignores my advice and goes deep, giving it straight back to the Sri Lankans, who are going to boot it right back at them. I think Sri Lanka should be trying to put the ball out whenever they can here. Beautiful step! And he's found himself in space. He sells the dummy, but he gets caught. The offload is caught. But it's knocked on in the tackle. That was a gorgeous step. You could see it just charging up there, couldn't you, Andrew Leakey?
Well, yeah, I'm just going to come in and just say I'm a little bit surprised by the way Sri Lanka have just changed seem to have changed their strategy from the first half to the second half. They're now trying to run around them, they're kicking the ball away, and as you can see there are the threats on the wings of the Taiwanese team. The stepping, the quick movement, that's what Sri Lanka is going to have to watch. I'm not sure whether they need to change what they were doing in the first half that much, because ultimately that physicality is going to take its toll on the Taiwan team. I think if you kick the ball back to them, that's playing into the Taiwan hands. Yeah. I don't know what you think, James.
I agree. We saw it in the earlier game. Korea managed to win that one, and they kept a lot of the possession in that game. And, you know, it's very tough to score a try if you don't have the ball in your hands, right?
But you got guys like Dilshan and Chetya in the midfield of Sri Lanka. They're stepping around and they're making good yards, and that's creating havoc in the midfield there for the Taiwan team, and that wasn't happening in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit more confidence. I think what I'd like to see is we've seen some big forward runners like Sabah bashing it up receiving off the 10 and the 12. I'd like to see them standing on that shoulder to exploit it. Some fantastic stepping, and the crowd is getting involved here. They're getting very excited as the game's starting to open up. The Sri Lankans are charging in to make tackles. It's at an unbelievable speed. We're set for some big hits here.
And they're kicking the ball away now, which is making me wonder whether they're actually themselves getting a little bit tired. Because one thing that this Taiwanese team is very good at, I think, is that they're going to be very fit. Fitness-wise, I think they're going to have the advantage over Sri Lanka. There's some big boys in that team.
Yeah, it looks like it's taking effect as well. Taiwan are now just kind of trading places. They're happy to attack around the fringes and start actually using their size, where their forwards haven't actually touched the ball in the entire first half.
It's like a mirror image of the first half.
Got some hungry forwards ready to drive it up to the line, ready for some tasty rucks and mauls.
They need you in there, James.
They definitely do not. Oh, he sells the dummy. Taiwan are playing the offload game here. It's really exciting to watch. And the crowd are getting excited. We can hear them cheering, but we're going to go a few more phases around the ruck to suck in that Sri Lankan defense, which has been a bit susceptible to charging in like that.
And this is what they want, fast around the edges.
It's a beautiful leg drive from the big tight head there. That was Lin who took it up to the line. Shui Chen Lin who took it up. Taiwan are now 4 meters out, and they're attacking. They want to score points.
And this is where your big guys like Zhang in the back row is going to, I think, have a big impact.
And there he was right there. He just got pulled short of the line, and that ball's over. That's got to be called a try.
That looked like a try to me.
I need to check.
He's going to check with the AR there, but they've been really solid tonight, and I think it's pretty clear for us up here. It looks like it was 16. Number 16, Shui Chen Lin, who has gone over there. He of course came on.
Chen Lin, yes.
He of course came on to replace Wei Lun Lin after about 30 minutes into the game.
Okay, so it's a try by blue, right? Yeah. Okay, no held up, nothing. So try happy.
Try call.
So it's try first and then try.
Cool, try and then try. Taiwan get 5 points.
Is that 2 tries?
Oh, leaky math entering the game here. Fantastic try from Lin. Team effort though. Taiwan really just kind of controlled the ball for the last few minutes and managed to make their way up to the line. The first 12 minutes of this half seem to have flown by, with Taiwan kind of retaining possession as they were not doing in the first half.
It's a very seesaw game, isn't it? this match just ebbing and flowing. Just when you thought Taiwan were on the ropes a little bit, now they come right back into it.
There we go, and this is Leo, the man who kind of devastated Sri Lankan defense on the far side of the field with that step, and he's lining up the kick himself. Taiwan obviously looking for a bit of breathing room here. They have been ahead, they haven't been behind yet in this game, and they wouldn't want it any different. That's an unfortunate miss from Leo. Of course, Taiwan's first choice kicker, Sean Gabriel, Jill Hawley, went off in the first half with an injury, looked like to his foot there.
It'd be interesting to see how the Sri Lankans adapt to this now, because I think that they want to play a running game against this Taiwan side. They're gonna face difficulties.
Yeah, these are two teams who I think probably want to run and step a little bit in the second half, but Taiwan so far seem to just kind of have the better of it. Another clearance from Taiwan. It'll be a Sri Lankan throw in about 30 meters out. We're seeing another replay of the try there, or the play building up to the try. A little bit tough to watch, but you can see the ball clearly over the line.
Clear grounding.
Yeah. Good work from Lynn. Looks like he's being pulled a little bit by a scrum cap there. Nothing like a little bit of feisty in the ruck.
Who needs a TMO?
Another good line-out from Sri Lanka. As we said, they really have the number on this Taiwan team in terms of line-outs. They've got a lot more height and a beautiful drive that they've implemented again. Made a good 10 meters on it.
This is going back to what they were doing well in the first half.
There we go. But the ball's come out there. Looks like we're going to attack around the fringes again. First attack around the fringes. Sri Lanka are really kind of keen and happy to set up phases, phase after phase after phase. They've been kind of patient in their rugby. You'll notice they're playing a bit of a slower game now. Oh, another big carry from Abdullah. Sri Lanka really like to use their big prop forwards and big front row for some carries up front.
I can't reward you. You not roll away first. You are okay. You are not. You got to roll.
Very well communicated and well spotted by the referee. He's been doing a fantastic job all night of communicating.
Both languages.
Yeah, exactly what's going on here. It looks like Sri Lanka are taking a shot at poles here, and I'm sure it'll be Dilshan stepping up. No, it's not. It's not even Dilshan. It's Zamil stepping up to take the kick.
Maybe watching this, James, we should suggest Nigel Owens do his refereeing in Welsh and English. What do you think about that?
Sure. If he's willing to come out to Taipei for the game, I think it'll be fantastic.
That would definitely confuse the opposition. No, I was talking about the Twickenham.
Oh, there's a lot of pressure coming from the crowd here, making their presence really felt in this stadium. Looks like he sliced that, he got it right under it. But Taiwan are happy to defend from their own line, not taking the kick, playing it out of their 22. There's some barnstorming running coming in here. Taiwan shifting the ball outside and in, barging through tackles. There's some hungry boys wanting to play some rugby. That's Lin, the try scorer, with a nice big carry.
The confidence levels, James, are rising, I feel, in this Taiwan team now.
Yeah, they looked a little bit quiet in the second half of the first half, which I suppose the second quarter then. They looked a little bit quiet, but they seem to be wanting to play some rugby now.
That's straight out. That's a bad mistake.
Yeah, I can't help but feel somewhat responsible for that, for saying that they seem to be wanting to play some rugby before they kick it directly out.
From Cho, Chang Cho.
Yeah.
Okay. Another substitution happening here. It looks like it's number 23, Yanlin Shao.
Yanlin Shao.
Green 11.
Taking the field.
Sri Lanka 11.
He's coming on for the fly half, Cho.
In the mall, they lifted my leg. No, I'm happy so far. I don't see it. Okay. I will check.
We've got some communication happening from the Sri Lankans. They're not happy with what's going on the maul. Just worried about his safety and the ability to drive with the lifting of the leg. Oh, and there we go. Speaking of confidence, Taiwan just steals that line out, but they put it on the boot, give it back to Sri Lanka, just kind of saying, run at me, bro.
There's the steps.
Oh, that's our new replacement there, who's just got onto the field. First touch of the ball, makes big contact.
He really missed. He just...
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with intercepts like that, going in with one hand. Very dangerous. They've got an overlap here. Surely Sri Lanka going to use it. He needs support. Just Sri Lanka once again lacking that extra man on the shoulder. A nice pass out. It looks like Sri Lanka are getting a little bit more tired. Instead of setting two men running into every contact, they're starting to seem a little bit more isolated. And then the big man Jung is having absolutely none of that. Big Abdullah, he stopped him in his tracks. Oh, some serious stepping coming in here from Lianage. He manages to break right through the center of play, and he's driving up the field. Oh, nice ball out to the 14. He stepped. Is he away? Can he stay in field? Excellent defense. He's left the ball behind. It's caught a knock-on advantage there against Sri Lanka, and Taiwan will have the scrum 5 meters out.
They're very dangerous one-on-one runners, aren't they? They seem to be very steppy and very able to, very fluid around the Taiwanese. But, you know, this game is opening up, and I think with about, what, 20 minutes to go?
Yeah, well, 16 minutes to go.
16 minutes to go. It'll be interesting to see how the Taiwan bench fares here. But this game has been running now still at a rapid pace, and I'm wondering, you know, this last quarter of the match, whether that's going to be the point where this Taiwan team actually just takes control of this match. But they're going to have to get out of this area of the field first.
Oh, Sri Lanka looking a little bit tired at that scrum. They were so in control of every scrum in the first half, but they're kind of being held up, just pushed back a little bit on the engage in that scrum. Perhaps a little bit loose underfoot down there, even though conditions have been relatively dry, although cold.
Well, it's actually a little bit of a drizzle down on the pitch right now, so maybe that pitch is softening up a little bit.
Yes, of course, this is our man Wayne Koo, able to go outside. We put him down on the pitch for some pitch side commentary to get right into the minds of the players. They, of course, fobbed him off. They were too busy to chat to him.
Since I'm the only presentable one to be down on the pitch side, I guess that's what they sent me.
There we go, and
a scrum infringement by the Chinese Taipei team.
Sri Lanka happy to call another scrum. They're confident in their ability to drive the Chinese Taipei team backwards. Do you think this is the right call?
Absolutely. I think obviously they're struggling a little bit because you can clearly tell by the front row they're dipping, and therefore they're not getting that push they need. I think Sri Lanka can sense that, so they have an advantage in the scrum. So they're gonna turn the screw where they can.
Falil with the feed. Sri Lanka controlling the ball nicely at the back there. They've got a lot of space for their back line. It's got to pass it outside. Not a great pass. The man with the step, Lianage there, seems to step himself and he drops a little bit. Falls to ground. The Chinese Taipei team, again, defensively, just been so prominent, driving players backwards.
Not going advantage.
And there we go. Taiwan have the ball. They're driving it up. You can't help but feel he should have shipped that to the outside man. But they're playing very settled rugby, very kind of calm here. They're not worried at all. And he has been hunted down there. The Sri Lankans are charging up. That was a big number 6 there. Kavianjana with a fantastic chase and tackle from Sri Lanka.
I think, James, you need to stop cursing the Chinese Taipei team. Every time you praise them for doing something good. Oh, that's a beautiful charge down by the Sri Lankan.
There was a lot of pressure Sri Lanka putting on now. the charge down was good, and the chase from Nandila, the fly half, looked to be good. It's just about who got their hand on the ball first. Are we going to go to the assistant referee for some advice here?
I think he's the referee's been good. Like whenever he doesn't have the angle, he always go as his assistant referee.
No, okay. So for me, I don't got a clear grounding. Okay. But then I blame that green grounded first, then blue on my angle. So we want to try. Okay, thank you. It's a try.
There we go.
There we go.
Craig Chan there with a nice quick decision. I like to see certainty in referees. He's keeping the game flowing, and this will bring it all level. Just Taiwan kind of being a little victim to kind of the pressure, Sri Lankan pressure here. With that beautiful charge down, and then that chase from Nandila, he managed to get the hand on it first. Exciting rugby happening here at the Taipei Stadium.
Well, this is a nice pressure kick to go ahead for the Sri Lankan.
Yeah, it looks like Faleil has taken over the kicking duties here. It's not a position I would want to be in myself, even though I'm certain I could make the kick.
As every good forward knows, we can make every single kick.
If only they allowed us.
Exactly.
If only they allowed us. Is Faleil going to be thrown off from the loud support up in the stands? It's too easy.
The kick is good.
And for the first time, Sri Lanka take the lead. Taiwan have not. This is the first seconds Taiwan have actually been behind on the scoreboard here. They've been mostly in control of the game though, so let's see if they can claw back some points.
12 minutes to go. There's not a lot of time.
With the score 15 Sri Lanka, Taiwan 13. A beautiful replay of that.
That's a nice chase down after his block kick.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy ball to chase at that angle.
No.
I think some of the handling errors we're seeing are a result of that drizzle that's on the field. The ball seems to be slipping and sliding around just a little bit, just enough to get a bit of a sweat on it. Taiwan seemed dangerous here up the wing, managing to keep the ball in play though. That's good work. They're inside of the Sri Lankan 22 and attacking around the fringes. That is the big number 16, Lin again with a nice drive. They're going to attack around the fringes again. Looks like the locks working together. We've got the big front row forwards.
I think the number 16 Lin, since he came on the field, he's made an impact. You can see footprints all over the park.
He's had a massive impact. It's those big size 12 boots that he's running around in. Your quintessential modern hooker, Wayne.
Absolutely.
Except that he's a prop.
I'm pretty sure he can play hooker.
So one of the bigger tackles we've seen in this in the last few minutes. Sri Lankan on Sri Lankan, a little bit of a lack of communication. He managed to call the mark.
He managed to call the mark.
Good on him.
Yeah.
He's gone to ground though. He'll be up. He's okay. Just maybe letting a little bit of time tick down on the clock when he gets a nice little ice bath in the freezing cold weather.
James, why on earth did he kick that? I mean, they wanted to keep the ball in hand. I could see maybe there was a little bit of space, but it was a very risky play, that.
You know, these are young teams playing here, and sometimes it's easy to forget that. A little bit of inexperience, perhaps, trying to go for the miracle try instead of setting a secure rucker. Oh, there's a lot of step work happening in the middle, but not much ground may. Taiwan working, getting a lot of speed. The ball's getting out really quickly from their rucks, or at least from that last one. They're not really allowing Sri Lanka to set their defense. If you look at the Sri Lankan line, it seems to be retreating constantly, just working hard. One man running up. Is he held? No, he's not held. There we go. Oh, uncertainty. Taiwan have managed to hold on to the ball though. And here we have Chen about to feed again. It's a little bit.
There's good numbers left.
Got to swing it out. You have to feel they have to swing it out wide. It was almost an obstruction there. but Craig Chan, the referee, has let it go. It didn't interrupt play.
Lost.
Kavianjan, a nice tackle there. An attempt to steal the ball wasn't really successful, though. You're seeing just on the ground, notice there's a lot of good technical work happening at the rucks from the Taiwanese team.
You said.
I think individually, Sri Lanka looked like a better team. But teamwork, I mean, at the end of the day, if Taiwan gets this line working, I think those gaps there.
Yeah, I mean, as you say that, though, one Taiwanese player just manages to step about four people there. Could we be more wrong?
Well, as my son always tells me, you know, whenever I say something with sports, you know, usually it goes the other way. But
so who do you think is going to win it?
Well, I think at the moment this game is really in the balance. I still feel that Taiwan have got it in the last quarter of this match, but the times is ticking down now. We've only got seven minutes to go.
And Sri Lanka just made a substitution. Wijetilake comes on from Big Hirushan, who had a kind of barnstorming game, a lot of big runs. Madhu Mawan is also taking the field. I'm not sure who he's subbing in there for.
Wijetilake.
Wijetilake, that's right. Well, he's also taken to the field.
See, we haven't had number 26 on the field yet.
No, we haven't. Zhao has also joined the scrum for the Taiwanese team. He's come on as a substitution. Another scrum set. It's another scrum for Sri Lanka. They've had a lot of lineouts and a lot of scrums, a lot of set pieces, which they haven't done that much with, despite being in the lead. You can't help but feel that they could have a bigger lead if they were really taking control of the game.
No, you come out early.
They threw that back into the 22 then.
Yeah, and just putting it on the boot and allowing Taiwan to run at the Sri Lankan team again. It's that individual brilliance that we're seeing again from the Taiwanese team.
I didn't quite catch that, Joe. Who is that, James?
That was Lai. Kwang Hong Lai.
Kwang Hong Lai.
Some awesome stepping there. Supreme confidence with the ball in hand. Just barnstorming stuff. That's Lin again.
They want quick ball here. They don't want to be hanging around these rucks. They want to get that ball free out to the wings.
And you look at Sri Lanka, they're showing signs of tiredness. There's about 7 men defending on the left side when there's only one attacker. Oh, that's some good work from the Sri Lankan defense, and Taiwan makes about 5 meters up on the right wing.
It's done well to keep that in as well.
Oh, ball's gone out quickly. Beautiful running line there from Taiwan. And they're shifting it again. And now they're playing that quick phase rugby. They're smashing it up the middle. You can't help but feel with the overlap that they definitely have. The ball's going out left here. A skip pass, 2 dummy runners. He straightens, he steps. He's got to go over. Oh, beautiful defense from the Sri Lankan team, and he's brought down in the corner there. Sri Lanka trying to make the counter drive, but Taiwan securing onto it. You know they're going around the fringe. Oh, that's the first phase around the fringe there. Taiwan have the ball again. Oh, and he's over the line. Try. Beautiful leg drive there. He's absolutely pumped it over the line, and Taiwan are going up into the lead with 5 minutes to go. An awesome effort there from everyone on the field. The backline showing their skills. A nice step in, step out. That ball to the outside, and it looks like it's one of the big forwards who's gone over there.
And that's what they want. They want fast ball. They wanted to come out of the fringes quickly, get it up to the wings, and then just a quick turnover. They don't want to get stuck in a very physical battle with this Sri Lankan team, because that's playing into Sri Lanka's hands. So that's why I think the last 15 minutes, well, last quarter of this match, we have 5 minutes to go now. Taiwan just needs to kind of take the breath now and just play it calm.
It'll be interesting to see a change in tactics here. Sri Lanka have been putting the ball into Taiwan's hands and allowing them to run at them. But I think both teams are going to want to hold on to the ball for the first time in the game. The Taiwanese strategy in the first half was kick it to Sri Lanka, and the Sri Lankan strategy in the second half has been kick it to Taiwan. So we'll see how this changes for the last 5 minutes.
Well, this game has been pretty frantic, so I'm not even sure whether 4 minutes is actually, it seems like it's going to be a very long time.
Yeah, it can be a long time in rugby. That's right.
I mean, I would say that off the kickoff, you know, you just you get your hands on that ball and grind the clock down. But that's a long 4 minutes in this kind of atmosphere.
I don't know if you saw that pass there on the replay from Che-Eun Wang. He really put his body on the line and took a massive hit in order to get the pass off to the wing. The kickoff taken by Sri Lanka. They're not really chasing it. It doesn't look like they want to win it back. A little bit confusing with it. Just a few minutes left of rugby. And Taiwan have the ball and they're driving it. They're going to keep it with their forwards. They're kind of setting up a nice big pod there to continue driving and just hold on to the ball for the next 3.5 minutes.
Can they wind the clock down, James?
I think they can. They've been very disciplined at the moments when it matters, and their forwards are strong enough. Sri Lanka hasn't been enough of a threat around the fringes defensively, so I don't think they're going to be able to secure that ball.
And you can see the way the team is positioned right now, what they're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite zoomed in on the camera here, but if you look at it, there's only about 3 Taiwanese or 4 Taiwanese players who aren't involved in the ruck there. It really is a forwards game for the next few minutes. Perfect rugby, if you ask me.
South African rugby.
Yeah, it's no time to not make contact.
They need a Dwayne Vermeulen now.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, there's a lot of aggression happening here. You can't help but feel it's only going to take a Taiwanese error that's going to get Sri Lanka the ball at all.
But they haven't really looked like committing any errors, especially in the tight. They've been recycling the ball fairly well. That's what you need to do, keep recycling that ball.
No,
2 more minutes to go.
Yeah, you're dead right there, Wayne. We must be on about phase 15. This is good. I think I'd call this Northern Hemisphere. I'd call this Northern Hemisphere rugby. This is the English rugby at its best.
Well, we certainly have the condition for it, you know?
Yeah, bitterly cold with some drizzle. Definitely not the conditions the Sri Lankans are used to playing in.
Well, today, I must give it a big hand to the crowd today. I mean, it's not the biggest crowd in the world, but when they make a lot of noise when it counts, you know, give the home team a little bit of a boost.
Definitely, I think they've put actually a lot of pressure on Sri Lanka at certain times. You've shown that we've kind of seen the nerves kick in a little bit. This must be about phase 20 here of this rugby. They've only moved about 10 meters, and there's only 1 minute left to play.
Well, they're basically playing the clock, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely playing the clock. I mean, we might be in for a kind of a record for phases here. Probably approaching 30.
Those backs in the back must be cold.
It's chilly for the backline players. The forwards are up in the huddle. There's a lot of steam coming off those boys.
Oh, wait.
Another drive. Sri Lanka have to do something. 40 seconds left to go, and they have to do something. They're not really making a massive attempt at the counter-ruck. That's the first time they're making an attempt. Yeah. Taiwan just are not going to make a mistake here.
No, they just keep recycling the ball, wind the clock down, 20 more seconds.
And it's going to be a penalty. No, it's not going to be a penalty because Hetiarachi has managed to get out there.
All right,
offside advantage.
Yep.
And this will be the game. You can hear the crowd counting down the time. And it looks like we're going to end this game with a shot at poles.
Well, the easiest way is to kick it out.
Time is over.
Yes. Referee said the time is over. Kick it out is over.
If they kick it out, there will be a line out though, of course. Okay, that's and the victory goes to Taiwan there. Who would you say your man of the match has been today?
My man of the match, I would give it to the substitute, Shen Kun Lin. I think since he came on, he's, like I said, he's been put his footprints all over the park, made a big impact.
definitely, I agree with you there. He's definitely my man of the match. He managed to cross the whitewash for a try himself, and he's had some barnstorming runs. He's been huge on defense as well as attack for the 50 minutes he's been on the field.
I've been very impressed with the Sri Lankan centre, Chetnya. I think he's been electric in the back line. He's been basically setting things up for them. And I think they're a little unlucky tonight. I think Taiwan just had the edge, but there really wasn't much in this game, and it was really in the balance until the end there. And well done Taiwan, but well done Sri Lanka too. Great game. This is a very open tournament, as you can see with Hong Kong now having lost. And Taiwan should feel confident about the next game, but I can tell you what, having seen Korea, that is going to be... The next game will be Taiwan against Korea. The next game will be Sri Lanka against Hong Kong. And then Taiwan will be playing Korea. That's going to be a very tough game for Taiwan.
These games are both on Saturday here, so tune in again on Saturday to catch up with those fixtures. As we said, both the games tonight have been really tight. It puts Taiwan in a really good position leading into their next game.
I must say, James, it's been a very good pleasure to share the box with you and Mr. Wayne Koo, the Taiwan Baboons head coach. And look forward to our next appointment.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been fun up here in the commentary box. A great game of rugby tonight, even in this bitterly cold 15-degree weather. Well done to the boys, and well done to the Chinese Taipei Rugby Union for setting this up.
I think Mr. Koo has just some final words.
Final words? Well, it's a hard-fought win for the Taiwanese team. Basically, Saturday, 7 o'clock, Taiwan versus Korea should be the decider for the Asian Under-19 Championship this year. So that should be a cracker. From me and James and Leaky, we'll see you when we see you.
Thank you. Just final score, Taipei 18, Chinese Taipei 18, Sri Lanka 15. Good night.
各位观众好，我是裁判张玉宁。现在我们邀请到了李教练，也就是中国队的总教练、执行教练来谈一下我们这场比赛的感想。
今天斯里兰卡打得特别好。那我们在战术上也设定了上下半场，其实有做了不一样的变化。那下半场刚好针对他们前锋已经跑不动了，那我们开始展开攻击。那前锋的连续攻击也掌握得非常好，所以才能在最后的时候把握住，那把比分守住这样。
那有一个问题就是刚刚制胜达阵球的前一球，有一个也是攻到阵前了，结果最后是用踢球，这个是您下达的战术吗？还是球员的自由发挥？
其实我都让他们自由发挥啊，就是。这个年龄的孩子，其实他们有很多自己的想法。那个确实有空洞出现，但是其实那球还蛮可惜的，应该把球权掌握住会更好。
所以包含最后我们反败为胜之后，我们的中场就开始用短兵相接，用前锋一直等于算是拖时间的这个战术，也是您有下达，还是他们自己球员在大概赛前都演练过，就大概知道这么做？
其实我们这次集训针对规则上跟整个战术运用上，其实做了很多功课。那小朋友在后面他们自己都很清楚，在这个时候我们只要把球员控住，时间到把球踢出界就可以了。其实他们执行非常的好。
OK， 那最后一个问题就是下一场面对的是韩国队，这边策略上的话，跟对斯里兰卡会不会做一些调整？
其实我们后卫今天都没有攻击到，我们后卫的攻击其实非常好，速度也不慢。那刚刚看了一下韩国队，他们其实体型是真的是比较大，那我们不会说去找他正面的，我们是以展开攻击为主。
谢谢李教练，预祝你们下一场继续成功，谢谢。 各位观众好，我们现在访问我们达阵中华队达阵第一球的我们当家翼锋李正峰，张正刚，不好意思，张正刚，那可以发表一下你的第一球达阵之后的想法怎么样？
很开心，很开心可以先为球队得分，然后当然我们的压力也会比较小一点。
那因为整场比赛中华队跟斯里兰卡其实是互相你来我往哦。那中华队的球员等于是像洗三温暖一样，有从一开始领先到中间落后，甚至时间快到了，最后才反败为胜。这个时候你们球员之间怎么互相打气，怎么调试？
我们都互相鼓励，然后一直沟通，不断的沟通，然后鼓励，然后让士气不要一直往下降，要一直提高我们的士气，然后去攻击对面。
那最后一个问题就是下一场是对上韩国队。我们今天稍早都看过韩国队的比赛，他们的球员速度非常的快，体型也非常的高大。那对这边你有没有什么会做其他的调整呢？
可能等教练下达指令。
就是战术上可能会有不一样，但是基本上自己的一些基本的技巧技能，基本上还是会维持一定的水准。OK， 好，谢谢你。来，这位球员，我们自我介绍一下。这位球员是我们最后反败为胜达阵的这个替补上来的前排球员。
大家好，我叫做林学谦，然后我现在就读于竹围高中。对。
他还是个高中生，在临危受命最后的时间，我们就快要输的时候，我们派上了这个替补的前锋球员，为我们打阵哦。那我想，基本上，身为一个替补球员，教练给你的使命跟给你的任务，在赛前他怎么跟你说的？
就是因为我们的球员，老师的安排的话，就是，前面那个前排的选手，就是把前面的时间盯完，盯到他不行的时候，就换我上场，然后我就是负责把后面的，时间，然后还有，后面的，全部的攻击还有防守全部做到好的选手，对，教练是这样跟我讲的。
是，所以现在看起来基本上你们替补跟先发的衔接是没有什么问题的。那下一场比赛是对韩国，教练有没有说你有先发的机会？
教练现在还没有说，因为有可能以这场的一样，就是把2个人，然后一个人把上半场做好，一个人把下半场做好，这样的阵型。对。
OK， 好。我们谢谢你今天的表现，谢谢你带给中华队今天宝贵的一个胜利，谢谢。我们把这个时间交给我们的主播，谢谢。